So I've had a lot of private messages and a lot of comments on my posts, people asking how I recovered from my eating disorder, tips on recovery, how to gain weight, how I managed to deal with the weight gain. I feel like it's such a sensitive subject, and obviously everyone's way of doing this is going to be completely different. But I thought I'd just share some of my experience and some of the things that I think will be helpful for anyone who's trying to recover from an eating disorder. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional, I'm just simply a girl that had a very serious eating disorder and somehow managed to get myself out of it. And all I'm trying to do is offer my advice, and I just want to help everyone. And I hate the thought that somebody is suffering. Like, honestly, I would do anything to help somebody get out of it. So I will do anything to do that. Where do I start with this? It's such a big subject. I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible, but bear with me on this one. So firstly, the main thing I do want to say, when it comes to recovery, this is going to sound like obvious, but I don't think a lot of people actually do think this. So when you decide to recover, that's the important thing here. You need to decide to recover. Like, you actually have to make that decision in your mind. If you are not fully set on recovering, if you've still got like this thing in your mind that's not 100% fully saying, yes, I'm going to recover, you will not recover. You have to make that conscious decision that you want to recover, and you have to believe that with every bit of your soul. Every cell in your body has to want that and believe that. That is the main thing. Otherwise, you're not ready. At the end of the day, only you can make that decision in your mind. People have asked me, how do I recover? How did I gain weight? So it's going to sound so boring and so basic, but the simple thing is a consistent calorie surplus. You need to be eating more than your body burns over a consistent long period of time. You need to do that for not just a week or two. This needs to be months, if not years. And this needs to be consistent. It needs to be every single day. And everybody's surplus will be different. That depends on what you deal with best. But you need to be in a calorie surplus. And if you are not gaining weight, you're not in a calorie surplus. It's very rare that you have a medical condition or something like that. Like, that's very, very rare. Most people are just simply not eating enough, and you just need to eat more. And if some people say that they struggle with their stomach, like they get stomach issues. This is why I say never ever copy anybody else's diet, because everybody's bodies deals with foods completely differently. You need to find a diet that works for you, works for your body, that digests well, that you enjoy. But the most important thing is you're in a calorie surplus. This will be very tailored specifically to you. And it's just a process of trial and error, finding that diet. People have asked me how I dealt with the scale going up, how I dealt with gaining weight. Being honest on this one, I didn't deal with it well at all. I will say every single day until the day I die, it's the hardest thing I've ever done. Gaining weight's never going to be nice. Never. Like, especially for females. It's just not a nice thing. It's got a negative stigma against it. But the thing that got me through, so this is me specifically. So obviously, as you can tell from my page, bodybuilding was my recovery. And in my mind, I set myself big goals for bodybuilding. Like, I've still got those goals in my mind, and I will not stop until I achieve them. And for those goals to be achieved, I have to gain weight. Because to be able to build muscle, you have to gain weight. That's the black and white of it. I have to. So at the end of the day, I have no choice. And for me, bodybuilding trumps any single negative anorexic eating disorder thought. Always. Yes, the eating disorder will be there, trying to convince me, trying to tell me not to gain weight, telling me these horrible thoughts. But the bodybuilding, like motivation, discipline, and passion I have, will always override it. Always. So for me, that's how I manage the weight gain. On a general side of that, people gaining weight, the thing to help you manage it is, firstly, set yourself a goal, like whatever you want to do in life, something that you dream of doing, like a dream job or a dream just event or dream just once in a lifetime thing that you want to do. In order to do that thing, no matter what it is, you have to have a healthy body. You can't do that thing with an unhealthy body. So use that as your motivation, and use that as your motivation every single time you have a negative thought, or every time you look at that scale and it see that it goes up. Just remember that motivation, that passion, that one thing that you are aiming for, and it will help you get through, honestly. But that thing has to be strong. It has to be such a big passion for you that will override the negative eating disorder thoughts. And then also another way that's going to help you deal with it is you're going to feel so much better in your body, because being underweight, being like a very low weight, it's not nice. You feel awful all the time. But the more healthy you get, that starts to go away, and you actually start to feel again. You actually start to live again. When I was ill, I was just merely existing. I was just merely a body existing with no emotions, nothing. But once I started getting better, I actually started to live as a human, live as Hannah. I started to feel emotion. I started to have energy. The food noise in my head went down, so I wasn't thinking about food all the time, so I wasn't hungry all the time. Everything just felt so much better. I wasn't cold all the time. I didn't get lightheaded. I don't get headaches. I don't get shakes or anything anymore. And I feel strong. I can think of other things, and I probably will do some more videos about this, but those are just a few things that I hope will help some people. If someone is going through it right now, honestly, all I can say is it's just not worth it. Life is so much better when you are healthy. There is so much more life to live than an eating disorder.